a few megalithic temples are being discussed today. Aratupuzha, the Sankalpa is that of Vasishta, and the Aratu of Sri Rama is at Mandaram Kadavu. Mandaram is the Kovidaram, the totem tree of Surya Vamshis. There is a Nilavad Tara from 583 AD. It has been taken by the Cochin kings. And the antiquity of the temple is from BC 2000. Not the temple, the Puram is from BC 2400 onwards. We can see some stones with a central Dampati figure, and then some dancers all around with a few scripts also. And there is one more stone, two stones like that are seen in the temple. The other one also shows some engraved or carved, though indistinct, you can actually find out that they are dancing people and other paraphernalia of the ancient period, probably depicting the ancient Puram festivals. You can see the dancers, the Vadya people, somebody, a Dampati coming in the boat, all related to the Puram Arata. Those two stones are there, showing the antiquity. Then when you go to the Belikale, you can see a horse with a rider, and a very funny lizard-like thing is seen spreading from the back of the horse tail up to the head of the rider. A very big lizard, something like a what you call a dinosaur-like figure. Then there is also a Varaha on the Belikal. And on the Varaha also you can see a dragon-like thing sitting on it. So such carvings are present. Then the thing that I want to stress is the presence of these stones. Some megalithic stones in the temple, around the temple. And now what is the importance of this? Look at the slightly slanted megalith, and there are two stones on either side of it, one behind and one in front. And such an arrangement is seen in the temple. Now, what does this megalith show? It shows that these are very ancient tribal places. The worship started by very ancient tribal people. You can see the similar stones in the Malampuzha semicircular megaliths. Some of them are similar to the structures seen in Aratupuzha. So the tribal connection is very clear. The tribal Dravidian culture with the semicircular and circular stone structures, and some of them, the central ones, they call Samikalle. Now this Samikalle is almost the same like the one we see here. So before the anthropomorphic idols came, people were worshipping these megaliths as the Chaitanya of the god of Vasishta here in Aratupuzha. Now this is the, again, Malampuzha central god stone and circular stones around. Look at the central god stone. It is actually a slanted megalithic stone kept in the middle. And I am showing a few other megalithic structures all in the Malampuzha area, raised by the people of the tribal people of Walghat. So all these give us some idea about the ancient worships and how the ancient worship sites became modified, and the construction of temples happened. This is a half of the square is seen here. The other one is gone. The scribbles all around show that. Now, we are going to another. Here we find the Cheravarayan hills. which was the ancient Chera Kings hills. Here also we find the some special Samikalle and the arrangement of the rectangular tumulis, stone circles, and they keep the Samikalle, which are actually some instruments like the Maju, etc. They keep these megaliths in a small dolmen, and some of their Pilayar Kovils are like this. They are actually their Kovils, not their burial places. Now, here we come to the Ayyandur. In Ayyandur Katyayani, on the eastern side, there is a square stone with some indistinct marks. We cannot say what it is. But we go to the four sides of the temple. We see four different types of megaliths. This is on the northeast or the Ishana Kond. There is a human figure. You can make out the human figure. And if you see that, you can see the nose part, mouth and neck part, head part, and the carving in the middle of it. And this shows a human head and lips on one side. And this is from the Vayu Kond. You can see the shape and the markings. And when you go or take a photograph from another view, you will be able to find some sort of carvings on it. The shape and the markings are important. Now, here you can see that the animals, two animals are there. One looks like a elephant, and the other one is with a snout on the elephant itself. That also is. So maybe more than one animals. I could make out only two. So this is a special stone. And another one is in the southeast Agnikond. You can see a Dampati carved on a stone. And here also in some areas the stone is carved in such a way that there is a mouth, nose picture. And some sort of markings are here also, not very appreciable, not very clear. We are not very sure about it. But these stones, why they appear on all the four sides? Because this was previously a old tribal worship center. You can see the Dampati carved on a stone here on the southeast. It is the same stone. Different views from the same stone I am showing, so that you can see both the Dampati different heads too are joined together like that. So some sort of very ancient megalithic structures are seen. So Ayyandur Katyayani temple must be a very old worship center that we make out from the stones or megaliths around. No, this one is on the southwest Niryadi. Usually we see the Nagas there, no? Here also a Nagalinga is seen. But from another view, we will find that it looks like a elephant head. Naga is a word with meaning both elephant and serpent. So both are depicted in one stone in a very artistic way, but in a very primitive way also. And these structures needs careful examination and study by the archaeological departments. The southwest corner stone is again shown. Then we will go to the northeast stone. See the nose, mouth, head, and the carved pictures on it. Better appreciated in this view. And the same stone from another view shows the lips are very prominent, and something that look like a head on the head. There is something like a head cap. A color is different. A head cap is placed, and this is seen on the northeast part. So now what we have to do, go to the Nadukal. between Mannarkadu and Perindalmanna. It's a huge structure. The area also is called Nadugal. Here also you can see something which is cut like a nose-like thing, and there is a head cap also. So very huge one. But the head cap and the nose are seen, and the upper part of the head cap is dismantled and it is lying on the roadside. If you keep this on the head of the Nadugal, it may look like the Easter Island megalithic stone in a very different way, but it looks like that. So our ancestors were worshipping this type of stones right from the beginning, is what you have to think about. And there are some markings here and there. We have to decipher them. Some of them I have copied down for reading. So we have to think about the antiquity of our culture and the importance of studying them. Irunilamkod is in Mullur Kara. Mullur Kara is the ancient Sangam period Mullur Mala of Ori, and it belonged to Kochi kings and Paliyam. And it is a cave temple with a upper megalithic site. There's a rock on the hilltop shows several types of human and animal figures, and also some indistinct scribes. And inside the cave temple, we can see the most ancient type of human inhabitation, carving of hands and feet. Not only in Kerala and India, but everywhere in the world, the caves show this type of markings. It's a very, very old site. And these hand and foot markings are considered to be the ancient Stone Age man's art pieces. Then on the hilltop there is a small cave and also several stone temples. Some of them looks like ancient light chambers into which light can enter, and there is a perennial well on top of the hill. Without fail they give water in all seasons. Just like the Trikkur temple, which also belongs to the Paliyam group of administrators. That these two are the most important cave temples in this area. Then when you go to the hilltop, you find very, very big linear markings and carvings of animals. Now, sometimes we have a feeling that does they actually show the markings as in the Nazca Indians? Sometimes we may feel that suspicion. Anyway, those are seen all over the hill. This is also seen in Calicut Varakal area. Varakal itself means the kal or stone with lines, varas. And it is said that Parashurama made those lines there. Anyway, so vara lines, which we can identify only if you are looking from the above, from sky, from a vehicle in the sky, you can see that. Now, this temple with both upper and inner structures on the hill, it is actually a place where everybody can worship in their own way. See the line markings, they're very beautifully marked. Like, I don't know, somebody goes up and looks at it, they might find some pattern in that. Now, here you can see some big animal with a gaping mouth. And if you look carefully, you can even imagine there are teeth in the mouth. Like that, so many things are there on the top of the hill. And in one view, these lines look like a reptile, reptilian type of animals, and other ways it looks like a lion or something like that. Such animals are in plenty, carved in a very systematic way onto the hilltop. That is a modern thing. Somebody has done that and had destroyed that carving. See this? The mouth, the head, and the body of the reptile is very well seen. This is a temple-like structure where the Naga, a stone called Naga is kept, and the stone structure around is there, the wall of their temple. So a Samikalle and a structure, temple around is made. The stones are arranged to make beautiful walls, and these are arranged in the form of circles, semicircles, and even as regular rectangles and squares. Just like we make the walls around temples, they have made stone walls. They're beautifully made. And when you go up, you will be able to find that beyond the temple site and beyond the wall, there is even a gate which shows a gopura. That is, you can't call it a gopura, but you can see that there is a door. And here, see, look at that dinosaur head carved beautifully. This type of megaliths are seen in between to make the structure so divine and very quiet also, quiet, divine place, a very, very old tribal area. And this belonged to Kochi kingdom and to their ministers, the Palyam. That shows not only the antiquity of the site, but also the antiquity of the Rajavamsha who looked after this. And it is a place for all. That is more important. It is a place where everybody can worship. And there is a small Shiva temple on top of the hill also. This is a small cave. This wall leads to a small cave inside. And inside the cave is a small Shivalinga or Samikalle placed. And there it is said that the sages used to worship. And even now people are worshipping that. To climb up the hill is a great job. I have done it because it was done several years back. Now it will not be possible. And instead of a belikalle, there is a heap of stones, and on it they have put a trishula. Trishula may be put by someone in the near time, but the balikal of stones is an ancient one, and a part of the temple is lost. The Shiva temple on top is lost. Instead, some sort of tarpaulin, etc., are kept. See the wall around, the rectangular wall. There are 2 or 3 layers of these walls around the temple. Now we come to the gateway to the temple. Look at that, 2 neatly placed heaps of stones making a gateway. This is what I called the ancient Gopuram to the Shiva temple. So very ancient tribal temple. As a temple has a double fortified wall, and the fortification may be because it is a observation site also. Maybe the fortification was for defense purposes. It is seen there. Though it is destroyed partially by the natural forces. This was not destroyed by any invasion. It was destroyed because it is on top of a hill. By natural forces, it was destroyed because of its old antiquity, because of the weather and wear and tear. See the way how the pathway to the temple is made by the tribals, and something which looks like an elephant, but it is not a carved one, it is a natural one. And this is uh, going back. We have to walk a lot to reach the observation point, and on the way you will be able to find all sorts of lines, dots, carvings of animals of different types, everything. And if you reach the top, you can even see a stream lower down the hill. You can see the stream. See the path is this path leads to the, it is on our upward journey from the temple, Shiva temple. We are going on an upward journey. All sorts of animal figures. You can even see the hands, legs, mouth, everything are carved by their uh, tools. Look at that. Some lines, some heads of animals. Like that, on the way you will find so many things. How neatly they are making some geometrical figures, animal figures, everything on the hill. In those days, in those ancient days, the artistic tendency of the human beings was shown like this. Every stone they carved. They didn't leave anything uncarved. And these stones mark our pathway. We can just follow the path. Upward journey. Now we are almost reaching the top of the hill. At the top of the hill, there are a few big megalithic boulders, stone boulders, megalithic, and two of them are kept side by side and in between them, if you sit, it is an observation point, not only for the enemies who are coming, but also for the sunlight, for astronomical observation. See the big boulders, two of them kept side by side, and in between is a observation point. You can see a forest down, and also a stream also you can see from this point. This is a beautiful sight to reach. From there you get a beautiful picturesque view. See, the lovers have actually made this stones, this is what you call damaging the ancient Puravastu or ancient heritage sites being damaged by younger generation. For them it is just a play. They should have been instructed that these are our heritage sites. We should not plague such sites, but it is not that. Now this is the place where there is an observation point. In Trikkur also there is an observation point, a little bit more sophisticated than this. But remember, both are under the property of Palyam Trust. Palyam are the ministers, the treasurers, and the administrators of the Kochi Rajavamsham. So both these temples, both these cave temples with observation points are under their control. This speaks something about the history of our ancestry. Now you can again come to the figures on these observation marks. Look at those pictures. There are some something like Indus Valley scripts you can see on those mega stones. And I don't think that nobody have ever tried to go there and learn something from these scripts. Mine is only an amateur attempt, and I could not do justice to the entire thing. I am just showing these things, that these things do exist. That's all I can do, because this is a very vast area where a single person cannot do much. Anyway, these are the things that we expect there to see. That's all what I can tell. Hope that at some day some younger generation of archaeologists, history students will go there and appreciate the things that our ancestors have done there, and make a real attempt to make history and archaeology of our land known to the outer world. That is all. As a elderly person, I can only hope for that. Only see that animal, what beautiful animal it is there. See, it's very beautiful. And one thing that I noticed is that in the down cave, that is in the cave underneath the hill, we saw the hand and foot being carved. And in fact, the same hand and foot carvings exist on the top of the hill also. That is something which actually it is of interest to note that not only in the cave downstairs, but also on the hilltop, the hands and feet are carved. The difference is that this on the top it is a little bit unclear, probably because of the weather on it. But inside the cave it was very clear, because no rain or air, etc.